What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Oh yeah. We're doing this thing twofold once again. This be your boy, the Almighty Be Live, 1/3 of the Sports Bros podcast, coming at you with episode 338. Um, our comrade, our bro, the HOC Eddie Cool is on assignment again this week, and we do hope that he will return to us soon, better than ever. Oh yes, oh yes, oh
He
yes.
got an eye problem. He can't see hanging out with us today.
That part. Whew, he is, but yeah, we send our thoughts to him, and like I said, hopefully we will see him with us very soon. You heard the other voice. You heard the other guy. I will introduce him in the best way I know how. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
Just the two of us building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. Me and
Hey,
you be live.
oh,
Mono e mono. Another chance for you to go one on one with the great one.
man, oh man, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And but yeah, like
Hey, it's WrestleMania week, isn't it?
it is WrestleMania week, and I'm
Brock
gonna
Lesnar's going to be on free TV.
you do what?
Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, they're kicking off WrestleMania on ESPN. You have that
Oh, the
free
first
hour.
hour.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah,
that'll get you in the mood for some WrestleMania.
that yeah,
Plus, Brock wants to get his check and go home, so they put him on first again.
that sounds about right. He's let me go ahead and let me get put Obafemi over your moment, and we're out. All right. With that being said, we had one jam packed sports weekend, but there's nothing better at this point of time, this time of the year, a tradition, unlike any other, the Masters. Man, what a weekend, what a golf tournament. And we're going to jump right into it with the top of the order.
All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order.
Thank you, Button.
Ha The top of the order. We're at it. Boom,
Does
boom, boom,
Button do the
boom.
top of the order?
I don't think she does. I don't know. But she does a lot for us. So thank you to the wonderful and ever so lovely Miss Button for everything she does with the Sports Bros podcast. But yeah, we had a golf tournament this past weekend at Augusta National. And man, oh man, I'm all over the place. I was trying to keep up with it. I didn't get to see much of the action, but I was following with my man, my golf pro in house, my man Scotty D. So tell me what all you saw, what all unfolded, especially this past Sunday.
I texted you at one point during Sunday. I said, this tournament is drunk
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
was tipsy turvy. It was going up, down, sideways. And actually, if you take away the fact that Rory McIlroy won this in a repeat and was going for a back-to-back green jacket, it was not an atypical Masters. It's very typical of the Masters, where one guy seizes control and then something happens in that on that golf course that's crazy, and another guy seemingly has control, and then another guy has control. I've seen that many tournaments throughout the years, on especially on Sunday at the Masters, and so it really wasn't a lot different, other than the fact that Rory McIlroy could not win a green jacket for like 25 years, and now gets two of them. It's like he popped the lid off, popped it open. Kind of like how Phil Mickelson was, if you remember early in Phil's career. He was like the guy that couldn't win the big one. He was always right in contention. Then when he did, he ended up won a major, he won a handful of majors. But Rory came out blazing early, 12 under par on Friday night. Woke up Saturday morning with a 6-shot lead. They said nobody ever lost a 6-shot lead. Well, he did that day. He didn't even wait till Sunday. He gave it all back and was tied. And at one point on Sunday, he triple bogeyed or double bogeyed when he was putting for par from 5 feet away. He missed 2 easy putts, and it seemed like, oh man, can he recover from that? And I think he had yet another double bogey on, I want to say 6 or 7, dropped to 9 under par. At that point, it seemed like Cameron Young, this is going to be his year. He jumped up to 12 under. And Rory actually afterwards said, I thought if I could get to 14, I could still win. So he still had in his mind, he still had the confidence. He wasn't sweating the fact that he was putting his chances away. And then he kind of made a little bit of comeback, got a little bit of a birdie, got a little momentum. But in the meantime, Justin Rose is out in front. And Justin Rose is the guy I thought, this guy has been the bridesmaid many times, including last year in a playoff and in 2017 to Sergio Garcia in a playoff. He always plays well at Augusta. I thought he is going to take control and not let go of this opportunity. This is finally going to be his year. And it wasn't. He gave it back. And then Rory is right back in it, takes control, takes the lead. And who's lurking from behind? None other than the number 1 player in the world, Scottie Scheffler, creeping up from the backside. And Russell Henley was involved, just couldn't get that big putt. He couldn't hit make that big move. And Tyrrell Hatton made a little bit of a move, and he got to 10 under. But then it became Rory's tournament. He finally had that 2-shot lead on 18, 13 under par. And I thought, well, all he has to do is bogey. But that's not necessarily easy for Rory because he has a tendency to want to spray off the tee once in a while. And then promptly he just slices one where nobody could find it over into the trees and the pine needles. And the CBS cameras were having a hard time following the shot from there. But he ends up in the bunker and gets out and safely bogeys and wins the tournament by a single stroke. And it was, it was exciting. It was, if you like golf and if you enjoy the Masters the way I do, it was a good tournament. It had drama. It had big names at the top of the leaderboard. It had, like I said, the topsy-turvy things you always see at the Masters, where just when you think you got it figured out, something else happens. Something goes awry. But kudos to Rory McIlroy for losing it and still having the mental fortitude to straighten it out and get it done. And it wasn't that way for everybody. Robert McIntyre walked off of a green with I think it was a quadruple bogey and a middle finger to the green. So he's going to be facing some discipline. And Sergio snapped the club. So this Masters was tough on some of those guys. Your boy Bryson didn't even stick around for the weekend. He got off to a rough start. But I thought when Rory was up, when he had the 6-shot lead on Saturday, I think I texted you and I said, he really will only need to shoot even par from here on in to win this tournament. Well, as it turned out, I think that's what he did. I think 12 under was the winning score. I think that is what he ended up. Okay. So that it did end up that way, but it didn't. He went about the hard way. He took some valleys and had some peaks and valleys along the way. But I didn't. I expected that it would get a little bit more difficult on Saturday and Sunday. And actually, there's some criticism that they were watering the greens down and making that course really soft because they didn't have any bad weather this weekend.
Right.
Usually they have something to deal with, and you may even have to play more than 18 per day to catch up. But they kept the course soft so that other guys could score, and that's how. Cameron Young made a big run on Saturday and closed the gap, and then Scheffler made his charge on Sunday. But it was Rory's year once again. So now approaching legendary status to have won 2 green jackets at this stage in his career. So you didn't get to see much of that then, I take it. You were at the Bananas. You were having some banana splits, Savannah Bananas.
Frozen banana.
You had a chocolate frozen banana?
Yeah. It was interesting. I think I just prefer my bananas not frozen, but hey, it was a cool event. But yeah, I did see, like I saw the up and down. I saw the change in the leaderboard. I saw Scottie Scheffler just doing what he normally, even keel. He had no mistakes throughout the entire Sunday.
Or Saturday, I think they said he was, if not the first, one of a very few that didn't bogey on the weekend at Augusta. He played bogey-free golf Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, he did. He Saturday had an eagle at hole 2, but yeah, bogey-free round 3 and round 4. So Yeah.
And that leads me to believe that with 3 majors left in this season, he's getting another one this year.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I think he's getting another one.
Yeah.
At least.
And
he's the number 1 player in the world, and Rory stared him down and got this victory. But I am not going to be surprised to see Scotty Scheffler getting some hardware this season.
So yeah. Quick honorable mention, like Tyrell Hatton represent Live Golf. I see. Oh yeah, I have to.
Good for you. They got one guy up there. All the other guys went home. Where was DJ? Where was Rom?
DJ and Rom got to play Saturday and Sunday.
Where were they? Never saw their face on TV.
Man, they didn't do so well.
No, they did not.
But they fought hard. Dustin Johnson even par. John Rahm plus one over par. Yeah.
You know who played pretty well at 5 under? Brooks Koepka. After he left Live. Brooks Koepka leaving Live Golf Tour, trending the right way. Those Live Golf guys. I tell you, goofballs.
There you go. Did you get a chance that I'll probably look it up because I'm just looking at a scorecard. Tyrell Hatton had an eagle at par 4-7. So it sounds like you might have hold it off.
I did not. I don't remember that one. No.
Gotcha.
I know I saw Rory chip one in, but I think that was Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. He chipped one in, and I think it was there was a hole in one. I think on Sunday. What's his name had it? The other European guy with the big beard.
Okay, yeah, that narrows it down for me.
Why is his name escaping me at the moment? And I think he's on the Live Tour too. Jordan Spieth played well. He did all right.
Shane Lowry on Saturday.
That's who it was. Lowry had one. Yeah. His was Saturday. Okay.
Yep.
I was thinking it was okay. Yeah, Lowry was who I was thinking of.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and it's one of those things where I told myself I was going to have a busy 2026, but I get a little piece in here. I watched the opening round on Friday. I'm on Thursday, and then watched a little bit on Friday. But yeah, Saturday and Sunday I was all over the place. But yeah, the Masters is such a. I feel like it is the official spring. We're in spring. I believe this is where like we've made it through fall, spring, and third winter, and all the other crazy.
Oh, I hope so.
Weather patterns here in North Carolina. It seems like the same up there, up north with you guys. But yeah, I feel like the birds are chirping, the flowers are blooming. Augusta National, the Masters. Gotta love it. Hats off to Rory McIlroy. He toughed it out because he tried to give it up. He tried to. But hey, he persevered and made it through to the end. Even par on Saturday and Sunday collectively. And he gets another green jacket. When will Justin Rose get his green jacket?
Well, you got to believe that window is closing, but he's not letting up. I mean, he's still. I mean, he's been playing this game a long time. He's got to be. I don't know if he's 50 yet, 48, 49. He's got to be in that ballpark, but he still gets long off the tee and plays great golf. So I would say that. I wouldn't say, well, this was it for him. This was his best chance. He'll never have another shot again. He could win it next year. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see Justin Rose win a match. He's always the first time I ever heard his name was in the opening round. I think in his first or second Masters, where he was playing well early, and I remember at the time I don't know this Rose guy. Then obviously went on to have a stellar, incredible Hall of Fame caliber career, but he's never won that major tournament. But I feel like he's always around the leaderboard at Augusta. He's always plays well there for whatever reason. But
he is 45.
45. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think Phil Mickelson was 50 when he won a major, wasn't he? When he won that PJ down at Kiowa. several years ago. I think he was 50. So, hey, nothing wrong being your 50s, baby. Some of us are still physical specimens in our 50s.
I'm not as physical anything in my 40s. I'm over here. I'm better than what I once was. I will say this much. Yeah, I put in some walking at the Keenan Stadium with the bananas. I got my steps in yesterday. But yeah, that is our Augusta Masters coverage. And we'll see what the rest of the golf season does for us. Let's talk hockey because that's something we actually can celebrate hockey.
Yeah, because your team has the best record in the East, so I'm sure you want to talk about it.
Of course I do. Yes, I'm just saying, one of Carolina Hurricanes doing damage. Please, can we get another Stanley Cup, please?
Here's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for a big Ottawa Senators first round upset.
Oh wow, that's how you feel?
Well, I mean, the Penguins did not beat Carolina head to head this season. And so if the Penguins would happen to manage to get by, not settled in stone yet, but it looks like it's going to be the Flyers in the first round. If they would happen to get past that, it would be Carolina, Ottawa winner in the second round. So, of course, I don't want to face Carolina. They should win the cup. Well, they should be among the favorites of it this year. I think Buffalo is pretty good, and Colorado is pretty good, and Montreal's having a pretty good year. But the Capitals, I think they are still hanging on by a thread. And this was interesting. Ovechkin came to Pittsburgh on Saturday. Now, the Penguins on Thursday night clinched their first playoff appearance in 4 years. So they went to load management on Saturday. They sat Malkin and Crosby and Rust. A handful of the top dogs sat, and it was Ovechkin's possibly, because he hasn't said one way or another, possibly could have been his last trip to Pittsburgh. On Sunday, the Penguins went there, and all those guys played. Why? Like, if you're the general manager or coach, wouldn't you want to have those guys play Ovechkin for the final time where you're selling tickets at your home arena? But no, they sat those guys on Saturday. I don't get it. And then they all played on Sunday, and then Ovechkin, they were trying to do like a handshake line, a tribute to Ovechkin, and he waved them off. And he didn't do it as disrespect, but as a way of saying, I might be back. I'm not sure yet. I still might have one more season left in me. So a lot of mutual respect there, though. I mean, for guys who've been hardcore rivals, Malkin, Crosby on one side, Ovechkin on the other, and that goofy Tom Wilson who likes to fight people. There's a lot of respect from those Penguin guys for Ovechkin and heat to them. So I wouldn't mind seeing him come back for one more year. I'd like to see him get one more healthy season in, just because he's a legend. He's a hero,
Oh, definitely. Much respect to OV. Oh yes. And so I'm cheering on my Hurricanes, of course, And I just, again, the fever pitch here in Raleigh Wood and surrounding areas is that, can we get enough from our other goalie? Brandon Bussey has been absolutely phenomenal this season. When we acquired him back in October, he has hit the ground running. Easily one of the best goalies in all of the National Hockey League. But it's when Bussey is not on the ice. I think, because I know.
Well, when you get into the playoffs, why would you play another goalie, though?
Well, that's again. I mean,
when you get into the playoffs, a lot of times teams pretty much ride their top guy all the way through and don't even go to this second. In the playoffs, you're not playing back-to-back nights. You're playing every other night. Sometimes you have a 2-night break. And here's another thing I don't get. Why is it that on back-to-back nights during a regular season, you don't play the same goalie 2 nights in a row, but everybody else plays 2 nights in a row? When everybody else is doing all the skate, goalie just hanging out.
Being a goalie is tough. I just look.
I'm not saying that. I mean, you take guys shooting a puck at you 120 miles an hour all night. But a third to half the game is on the other side, and you're not skating. You're not powering you don't have to rest your legs. You're standing there. You can chill. You could actually take a knee if you wanted to.
You gotta think of it this way. There's two players on the ice that don't ever get to leave the ice. Everybody else.
Yeah, but they're just standing there.
Yeah, oh, man.
They're not skating. They're not running into the boards. They're not
to let you on this program just discount the goalies and what they do.
I am not discounting them, but you can't tell me a goalie's exhausted at the end of a game as much as the other guys. Okay. Which the other guys, they're only themselves, like the top guys are only playing a third of the game, 20, 22 minutes, 24 minutes a night. I mean, but they're going full speed. That's why you can't play more than that. Because you're out there, you're basically on a sprinting on the ice.
Yeah.
But the goalie's not. He's just chilling there. Maybe he might have to go behind the net and field one and scoop it over to somebody and do a split once in a while to make it safe.
All I know is my knees hurt every time I watch an NHL goalie. That's probably a personal thing because my knees always hurt. But man, I can't imagine just like this. I mean, again, half of the game you're bending and splitting and kicking and doing all kinds of. But yeah,
no, not half.
All right, well, we'll see what strategy.
I just don't think your legs are as tired playing goal as they would be for another position. That's nice. So when you get in the playoffs, your goalie can play pretty much every night if you want him to.
I hope so because Brandon Bussey is our guy. Oh yeah, but yeah. There's still a couple of games left in the NHL to see who makes it in. A lot of the positions already been.
I think it's all over Wednesday, right, or Thursday.
I believe so. I know that the Kings and the Sharks still got 3 games to go. Winnipeg Jets got 3 games to go. Most of the rest of the league has 1 or 2 games left. So there's a little log jam in the Western Conference. Right now, it looks like the Anaheim Ducks and the Kings are in position to make it into the playoffs, but they have not clinched yet. So
Thursday is the last night.
Okay. All right. Well, that is our coverage on the ice, and then you got basketball where both my Charlotte Hornets and Scotty D's Los Angeles Lakers are well. The Lakers are playoff bound. The Hornets are play-in bound. So by letter of the law in the NBA, you have not made it into the playoffs until you've made it past the play-in. So only 16 teams make it actually into the playoffs. And how do you feel about your Lakers with the injuries that have hit?
I have not watched nearly like I usually do. I know Luka was on fire for a while there, and then now he's going to be out for an extended period. Already has been. Don't know if he would be available. I have not heard for a first round. I don't know what Reeves' condition is, but I mean, those are your 2 of your top 3 scorers. They're not beating anybody if they don't have those guys. And if Luka is coming back, is he going to be full capacity? I mean, how good is he going to be right off the bat? Usually you kind of work a guy slow, and you don't have that luxury in the postseason. So I have no hopes for the Lakers. Who won it last year? OKC? Yeah. They win it? Yes, yeah, they're going to win it again. They got that SGA guy, right? Isn't he on that team?
Yes.
SGA, yeah. He's the best.
The defending MVP, yep.
Yeah, and we haven't had a repeat since what, like 18, 19, something like that. And I think they're primed to repeat this year. I believe it.
I'm curious. I hope my Hornets make it into the playoffs, make it past the play-in. They've been playing really good basketball, especially on the latter part of the season. So we'll see because it's all on the line. They face the Miami Heat team, and when you move on, you lose 1 game. You're going home, not 9 versus 10 seed. So we shall see. Oh, we're in the thick of all of it. I'm here for it all. Let's talk NASCAR. I'm just playing. I'm playing. But we're gonna step away for a little bit. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do some choices situation. Hey, yo, button, hit it, and all things. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, hey, button.
Coming up next, the choices of the voices. Hey, yo, button, hit it. Choice of the voices coming to you right here on the Sports Bros podcast.
Podcast.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
And thank you to the ever so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite part of the podcast, the choices of the voices. Oh yeah, where we ask you. Is this how it goes?
Yeah,
Is that
something like that.
something like that? Where we ask you the question, you give us the answer, and we talk about it right here on the Sports Podcast. So, with it being the Master season, Scotty D proposed a question for the listeners from last week. Scotty D, what was your question to the people?
So, which of the three, and these are all recent, all within the last 10 years, of these three Green Jacket winners, what was the most special or significant that you felt was the most special or significant? And we went with Sergio finally breaking through his major shutouts and breaking through into the 2017 Masters, a playoff win over Justin Rose. It was 2019 Tiger, where he won his first major in a decade. And the third choice was Rory McIlroy of 2025, who broke his decade-long drought and finally won the career Grand Slam by winning the Green Jacket. Notwithstanding, he got a second one, but this was in regards to last year where he finally broke through. Trey Duke had a great answer there, Be Live. What was his answer?
Trey Dizzle came through. He said, all I know is we're old as hell. 7 years ago is when Tiger Woods made a comeback. Damn, Dallas is never winning another Super Bowl. And to Trey's credit, yes, a lot of time has passed, and a lot of DUIs have also passed since Tiger Woods made a comeback. Do you think Tiger can still maybe come back and do anything, or have we basically just
no, he's done. I don't know if he'll ever even compete, let alone win on the Champions Tour. It'd be interesting to see that if that's something he would be interested in. But he seemed only interested in winning majors at this point. Even the last several years, when he was able to get his body right, and I mean, it takes a lot of work for him to get to the point where he can play 18 holes of golf, let alone do it 4 times in 4 days. He wasn't doing it really very often, other than the major tournament. So I think his sole focus for the longest time has been to catch Jack Nicklaus, and winning on the Champions Tour does nothing for him. I don't even know if we'll ever see him on that tour. But no, he's done golf wise. I mean, maybe we'll see him make an appearance here and there. I don't think we'll see him playing the PGA again. He might possibly play in the Masters. I don't see how he play in these other ones unless something miraculous happens. I mean, this whole recent DUI medication thing out of the equation. What kind of conditions is his body in? I mean, he had like 19 back surgeries and now his legs all messed up from the accident a few years ago. So I don't know. I don't think he's physically capable of putting together 4 straight days of golf. I think the Champions Tour is 2 or 3. I don't think I'm not. I don't recall, but they don't play 4 days. They don't play Thursday through Sunday.
Tiger's out there having fun with the golf league, so TGL. But yeah, that's something totally different. I don't know. But with that being said, Scotty, you said you got a couple of answers through Messenger. So
yeah, a couple guys who are actually big golf fans. Robert Marsh said, he said if you would include Phil Mickelson's first Masters win, he might swap out this answer. But he said it's not often you see somebody win a Grand Slam, so he went with Rory's victory of last year. He thought that one was the most significant of those 3. And Andy Bennett, another big golf fan, another Myrtle Beach guy, he said Tiger 97 because that changed everything. And that's true. It did change the world of golf when Tiger won that Masters in runaway fashion. But when I asked him to narrow it down to those 3, he said, well, don't like Sergio, don't care for him, so that one's out. But he said, I'm going to roll with Tiger in 2019. So nobody feeling the Sergio love, but
and I sort of attribute that somewhat to like you have these major personalities when it comes to the likes of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, and then there's Sergio Garcia. You know, like how many people actually like follow Sergio's career? You it's one of those you got to be an avid golf supporter to really follow Sergio's career. While
Yeah, and I know he's done and said things through the years that have turned people off, but Sergio, when he was like 19 years old, he kind of burst on the scene and was this energetic young kid that everybody kind of took to. He had like his childlike innocence about him on the golf course, and a lot of people liked him. And he had major winner written all over him, but it didn't happen until I think he was in his 40s. I think when he won in 2017, he had already passed the age of 40. So that was pretty big. That was a huge because Sergio had played well, won a handful of other tournaments, and was always in Ryder Cup play. Played very strong, and just was never able to put it all together in majors. But then he got that green jacket in 2017.
so he would in 2017 he would have been 37.
Okay, so he was not quite 40 yet then. Okay.
So you can't be breaking your driver on the course, my guy. You gotta like keep it in, keep Zen mode.
Yeah.
But I
I'll
get
tell
it.
you this, in all three of those tournaments, I had kind of a similar feeling in all three of them. In all of them, I was rooting for them to win. I was rooting for Sergio. I was rooting for Tiger. I was rooting for Rory. In all three of those, they won. And in all of them, there was in each one of those tournaments, I always felt like this would be too good to be true kind of scenario in my mind. Like I was at the point where I accepted Sergio will probably never win this thing, and I was to the point where Tiger's days are behind him. He'll never win another major. And then with Rory, it's like, how many times can he get close and get his heart broken? I don't know if he has it in him to do that. It's a mental block now. That's how I felt for all of them. So in each case, it was like, this would be too good for it to be true to happen. And then Sergio goes to the playoff and beats Justin Rose. And then Tiger, when it happened, he kind of turned the corner, and I think it was Molinaro was the leader that day, and had a couple bogeys, and then Brooks Koepka was breathing down his neck, and and Tiger had a late birdie that put him over, and he won it. It was incredible. And then Rory last year, the same thing, having the playoff with Justin Rose. I think for me though, when I was younger in the early 2000s, Tiger was golf, and I mean literally, like right now, Scotty Scheffler is number one player in the world. If you could have your choice of Scotty Scheffler or the field in a golf tournament, I'm taking the field. I'm taking the other 100 guys versus one. That wasn't the case whenever Tiger was in his heyday. You want Tiger or you want the field? I'm taking Tiger because he's going out and he's winning. He's winning major championships left and right. And he did change golf. And he made a whole generation or two of young men interested in a sport that maybe not as many would have taken to. So I think for me, the answer has to be Tiger's comeback win in 2019, because it felt like he had left so much meat on the bone. Like he could have really blown by Jack Nicklaus and won 20 majors had he not, dealt with injuries and whatever the heck else he was dealing with. And so I think there was some nostalgia for me in that 2019 tournament. It's like, wow, this is possible for him to do this again. That is incredible. That would be great. And then he did it, and it was great. And so I think that was my answer. Even though I had similar feelings with all of them, I think Tiger was the one for me that was probably the most special. What about you?
The easy answer, and I don't want to take away from people, and because I definitely that was heartfelt, and I don't want to take away from the easy answer, Tiger, because like you stated, he is synonymous with golf. Like I'm pretty sure just on this program we talked more about Tiger Woods than we did Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy who actually won. So that's just one of those things. He is synonymous with golf. So that's the easy answer. I will say this though, Tim, I wasn't really too attached to Sergio Garcia when he finally won in 2017. So I couldn't give you that sentiment. Rory McIlroy, however, this is and this comes from a competitive standpoint, especially with the animosity between PGA and Live Golf. And you know my affinity for Live Golf. I like this little extra competition. Am I partial to Saudi money? Absolutely not. But it's just it 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 gave sort of a nostalgia when it comes to competing leagues, everything like that. And on one side, you got the bad boys of Phil Mickelson, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, which flipped and came back over Jean Rahm. But the face of PGA for pretty much that period was Roy McIlroy. And so, like a lot of people, like it wasn't. I think when Roy won that green jacket, he didn't win it just for himself. He won it for PGA. Like he was like the spokesperson, and so him winning in 2025 had such an impact, and I think that's what Rory needed, and now for him to repeat, it sort of solidifies where his stance is at when it comes to the golfing world. Like Rory, even though Scotty Scheffler is the number one player in the world, and we recognize that as such, we also recognize Rory as being like the face of PGA.
Sort of like he planted the flag for the PGA guys last year when he won that. I agreed to that. I actually almost mentioned it. We were talking earlier about him, and I'm glad I didn't because that was a very good take on that. I like that. That was a great answer, and I agree. And that's partly why when Rory was younger, I didn't like him, but I also didn't like his hair. He had that Cabbage Patch Kid hair, and I don't know. He seemed like a young brat. But one of the reasons I have been so staunchly behind him is because of that, because of his stand on, not giving into the Live Golf and sticking up for PGA golf. Yeah, so that's a great answer.
With that being said, that concludes the answer for the choices of the voices. Scotty D, what do you have on tap for us this coming week?
Well, I asked a question a couple weeks ago. I'm going to push that one back yet again, and we'll revisit that one. But next week is going to be NFL Draft Week here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we'll just ask you, what NFL draft pick did you expect to be great, but ultimately was not? And add on to that and tell us who you predicted to not be great, and you were correct. If you predicted a bust, and if you predicted someone to be great and we're wrong, we'll be talking about that and more next week on Choices of Voices.
Oh, I like it. We have an affinity for the National Football League and football in general. If you haven't noticed, even in the thick of baseball and hockey and basketball, we find a way to come back to the National Football League. Oh yeah, with that being said, Scotty D, you ready to go ahead and get them out? You ready
Let's
to
do it.
You ready to knock one out of the park? Let's go ahead and jump into it. The walk off shot.
And a walk off.
Okay, boys, time to wrap it up. Let's go home with some walk-off shot.
All right, we're up to bat. Bases loaded. 3-2 count. What are we going to do with it? Let's walk it off, baby. Let's knock this out of the park. Scotty D, what do you have for us?
Well, I'm actually going to have to hit two doubles to walk it off because two very important things I wanted to bring up. One was, as a huge Pittsburgh guy, Phil Garner just passed away this past weekend. He was nicknamed Scrap Iron, and whenever I was a kid and they won the 79 World Series, and my eyes were huge when looking at Pirate baseball cards and going to Pirate games. I was playing second base, and Phil Garner was kind of my hero. I remember I had the wristbands with his number on it and all that stuff. And so just a great lifelong fan of Phil Garner. Sad to see him go. And I was actually going to just talk about that. And when I got on a computer and I sat down, I read an article on ESPN realizing it has been 10 years to the day of Kobe Bryant's last game where he scored 60 points against the Utah Jazz in his retirement game. And I remember that night thinking, oh, I just hope he has a decent game. And then he got to like 30 points. Like, man, he's hot. And all the teammates were letting him shoot. He got to 40, and Shaq was sitting there courtside and said, go for 50. And Kobe's kept shooting, and he got to 60 and retired after that. And I remember just a feeling of like the Lakers were terrible that year, and the game meant nothing, but it felt like a playoff game. It felt like a championship kind of game because Kobe was revving it up. He was really going in for it. He was going for it. And I remember the commercial they had. Do you remember the commercial where he was singing to the crowd, where the crowd was saying, "We hate you, we hate you"?
Yeah.
Phil
Okay,
Jackson was singing, and I think Draymond Green was in. I mean, it was a really cool night. And I sat home and watched it by myself. I was in my bedroom in my place in Myrtle Beach watching it that night and texting with a bunch of people about it. But unforgettable night, and gone too soon was Kobe Bryant. But 10 years ago since his retirement. So I just want to say, on a farewell tour, as I'm walking off to two legends not with us anymore. Be Live, what you got?
All right. So that was you tied the game in the bottom of the ninth, and then you walked it off.
I walked it off. Yeah.
I got you. All the time you be giving me crap for all my extended pepper points.
Yeah, I kind of had to on that one.
That's all right. My third and final, as you know how my walk-off shot and all the things that I call it, is pretty simple. Banana Ball is here to stay.
I knew we were going to Savannah Bananas. I knew it.
Banana Ball is here to stay, man. The energy, the atmosphere, the electricity, and the thing about it is, it's geared toward kids. It's definitely more kids. Like I got to see it. I check it off my list. Am I going to beg for tickets again to go see them? Not really, but for the kids and the what they do for kids is phenomenal. Like, and I think they're already in talks of having youth banana leagues and teaching like actual banana ball to kids. And I honestly, I know some people or think that banana ball is sort of detrimental to the sport, but they still play actual baseball. They just put a lot of twists and trick plays and stuff like that. It has the little Harlem Globetrotter ish to it, but it's still actual baseball. And I think the youth leagues are going to teach fundamentals first, and then the fancy stuff later. So I really like. I was a student because I was there gathering a little information for what I do for the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. So I came back with a bunch of notes and how they do things, and then now because of the production stuff that I do, I noticed a couple things. I was like, ooh, yep, somebody missed that cue. Like
yeah.
One of the mics wasn't turned on. I was like, oh, he is talking and nothing is coming out. I was like, oh, I've been in the production booth when stuff like that happens. Oh, we're scrambling. All right, what's going on? Press a button. But overall, it was a great time. Quick shout out to my friend Brenda Johnson. She is an amazing friend. Thank you for getting me a ticket and for she actually bought the shirt for me. So,
I like that. It's a cool shirt.
They actually had one in my size. I was shocked. I was like, I wasn't even gonna get in line. She got in line to get some things, and then she was like, "What if they have something in your size?" I was like, "Well, I mean, 4X, 5X. I'm a big guy." She came back. I was like, "Oh, well, how much do I owe you?" She's like, "Don't even worry about it." I was like, "Stop it." But it was a great time. It's definitely in the memory banks, and to the Savannah Bananas family and all that they do, keep doing it. You're inspiring kids the world over, and it was a beautiful thing to see. Savannah Bananas, Nanner Ball, baby. Oh yeah. With that being said, Scotty D, I think we did a pretty good job, despite not having our HOC in place. But we wish him well. We hope to see him soon. And yeah, that's about it. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. We got some Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, because that WrestleMania is coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, I have to call a Trinity High School baseball game tonight on YouTube. So I will be busy in the booth, on the call, on the headset, on the microphone, all that stuff.
Good. Hey, I'm actually glad for all three of us. Actually, all three of us are pursuing jobs in the sports field. That was our goal 7 years ago. Like we wanted it. Eddie Cool went and graduated. You graduated. Me, I don't know. I'm just out here doing stuff.
Ah,
But
you're
man,
finding your way.
man, oh man, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you very much. With that being said, and in closing, do something for yourself, do something for somebody else, and some other things, and whatever Eddie Cool says at the end of the show. And I'm gonna just do the part that I know. I'm gonna take you out of here. Yes, sir. Sports World Podcast, episode 338, and we're out.